I believe every one of our kid can be an all-stater in something, whatever they choose to be, but they can't do it without the resources. I think, Commissioner Philpott, Mr. Williams, Reverend Terry, you've heard me say this a number of times. We're hurting as a district. I've watched this district in the 70s be the lighthouse district. Everybody wanted to work here. We had 20 applicants for every job. And I watched it steadily. I mean, they maintained academically, but fiscally, I've seen a decline. And it's significant to the point now where we're actually losing teachers. Matter of fact, I don't know if you're aware of this, but we belong to the LUDA, which is the Large Unit District Association. It's the 55 largest K to 12 school districts in the state. We are at the bottom in terms of pay of those districts. Matter of fact, surrounding districts here, our starting salary is lower than all theirs, Masons and Amendments, Unities. And that's a result of what the state did like 3 years ago, where they told everybody you had to raise all your beginning salaries to $40,000. Well, Quincy was right just below that. We raised it to 40. But as a result, but now that everybody else is caught up and past this, we're losing teachers. Why would you? We make you work really hard. Professional developments. We have you communicating with parents. We have you in meetings before and after school. You have to work harder, and as a result, our kids are doing well. Believe it or not, we're right at this. When I was here 10 years ago, our kids were right at just below the state average. Now that we're right at it, and so we have some schools that are being recognized, and we're doing this with basically grants. And it's frustrating because we have 30 certified positions unfilled. 16 of those are special ed. And then during this year alone, we've already had 6 people quit. Last year, during the entire year, we lost 8 total. So it's an issue, and we have to do something about that. And basically, we've been reaching out to the community. Instead of asking you to come to us, we've reached out to you. And we've also formed with the Community Engagement Commission, which Commissioner Philpott and Reverend Terry and Mr. Williams sends everybody, someone to every meeting. So we really do appreciate it. We know that we can't do this without your help. But I feel like the only way, as I've had these meetings, I've had over like 18 meetings with different community leaders, and every one of them was pretty much surprised to hear the numbers. We have 60% free reduced lunch. Our starting salary is $40,000. If you're a single mom and you have 2 kids, you qualify for free and reduced lunch. So it's almost in a way you're almost like a working poor, and you're teaching kids. So that is an issue. So we need to do something about that. In order for kids to be all-staters, or anybody to be a star, the best athletes have the best coaches and they have the best facilities. I believe our kids deserve the same, and we need those resources. And the way for us to do that is certainly to find some creative ways to. We know that raising taxes is not very popular, so we're hoping that this our community engagement committee comes up with an alternative. Although I don't know what they are right now. As far as I see it, we can either cut staff at the end of the year. We can try to get past the ed fund tax rate, which we haven't been able to do in decades. Or we can look at something like 1 cent facilities tax, which is one of the 3 options that we know about. One of the issues with Quincy, I love Quincy, but we've always just done the bare minimum. Our tax rate for the ed fund, which is what pays teachers, is $1.84. That was mandated in the 80s. It has not gone up since it was mandated in the 80s. Every other district is above that. So basically, the fund that we use to pay teachers is a smaller pot than everybody else's. But everybody else, of their pot, they pay 80 to 85% of that to the teachers, their staff. In Quincy, it's only 77%. So basically, we have a smaller piece of the pie of a smaller pie. So that's part of the issue. So what have we done? The staff is incredible. We have so many grants. I'm consistently sending over information to our cabinet administrators about different grants and reporting to different grants, and there's just so many of them. And it's not sustainable. You know how the economy is. We're relying on federal money, grants monies, and it's not sustainable. So we need to do something, and I'm hoping that the work that you're helping us, being part of that committee, will help us to get there. But I'll tell you, this is a wonderful school district. Like I said, I've been 5 decades associated with this. I've come back here 3 times. I passed up. I turned down the job where I can sit at home, work 3 days a week, and get paid more than I got here. And I turned them down. Quincy called weeks later, and I said yes. I got a call from that school district and said, "Let me get this straight. He goes, you're taking less money. You're driving 3 hours, and you have to pay for a place to live, right?" I go, yeah. I go, okay. And I couldn't explain to him why. The reason I chose to come back to Quincy because I love the town, but also because you have a school board and you have administration and you have a community that supports kids. That they all have their heart in the right place. And so I'm glad I've had the opportunity to come back the 3rd time, but I'm hoping not to have to come back a 4th time anytime soon. But I think you know what the problem is, and I think you have the people in place to solve it.